welcome back. This is By the Book, and we're married relationship coaches. I'm Seth.
I'm Sil.
And today we're talking about Married at First Sight, season 17, episode 11, 12.
It doesn't matter.
I'm not 100% sure. And it really doesn't matter because we're going to talk about Brennan and Emily. And it's kind of wash, rinse, repeat with them.
The season is wash, rinse, repeat. It's a catastrophe. It's a dumpster fire. I mean, it just continues to spiral out of control.
It's bad. And now I see why they gave Michael another chance, because they're not going to have any people at the end. They saw that coming. They were like, oh, no, we ain't even going to have a decision. Babe.
Exactly.
So, anyway, I digress. We were talking about Brennan and Emily, and I'm just so confused, y'all. Like, I don't... and I'm not, like, a lot of people, a lot of you, my husband, are in just, like, camp anti-Brennan and really jump on him and, give him a hard time for his behavior. And I so don't want to jump on him in that same way, because I sympathize. And my husband will tell you, I sympathize with him because I feel like he's in a situation where he doesn't have an attraction for her, and he doesn't know what to do. I feel like I just feel bad for him, but he's handling it so poorly that it's hard to sympathize with him. You could imagine, I think any of us could imagine, if we were set up, let's just say, on a blind date with someone, and we saw them and we're like, oh no. Probably we've been on that blind date. And we're like, this isn't going to work. And trying to muddle through the rest of that date after having seen this person and kind of made a decision that this will be the last time you see that person. It's very difficult to muddle through that date and act normal. Yeah. Without, like, trying to hurt this person's feelings. They didn't do anything to you, So you don't necessarily want to hurt their feelings or walk out on a date, but you also are just not comfortable. You don't want to hug them. You don't want to have too much deep conversation with them, because this isn't going anywhere. And that's the vibe that I get from him, except he has to, or he feels like he has to, continue on this blind date for a treacherous 8 weeks. And
he pretty much do.
Right. And so that is uncomfortable, and that's why I can kind of empathize with him. I do. I don't think he's a bad guy, but I think in him saying, the thing that strikes me so odd is that he keeps saying, we want to keep it positive for the camera, or we want to, like, he's not just like, not saying, I want to look good for the camera. He's literally saying that, I don't want to look bad for the camera.
Yeah.
And most people, we see that in their behavior, but they don't actually say it. So when he says it, it just comes off really peculiar to me, because I'm like, dude, like, what? So I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. If anybody else sympathizes or empathizes with Brennan, let me know that I'm not all by myself, because I get it. He chose to be on the show.
Yes.
He didn't know what he was going to get, et cetera, et cetera. But until you're face to face with this person and you realize, she slept with one of my friends, or whatever it is that is, like, really off-putting, it's something. Yeah. It's something that he can pinpoint, and he doesn't want to say it.
Yeah.
And the more he doesn't want to say it, and he tries to, like, skirt the situation, the worse he looks. And I'm like, oh, Brennan, just say something.
He did say something. He said he's taking it day by day.
And that's pissing her off, and it's making her sad.
Yeah.
And the thing that I wish I could speak through the TV to her, I know this has all happened already, but if I could have spoken to her in real time, you want to say, girl, don't lie to yourself, because she's sitting here like, I know he has feelings, and I don't think he's this guy. And no, he's not. He's not that guy. He is not into you. I don't know if he's got his own personal issues or if it's really just you, Emily, but Don't do this to yourself.
Well,
I hate when women lie to themselves like that.
She wouldn't be the first lady, but
At all.
I don't feel sorry for him. You're right. He did sign up for this, and he's a grown A man, and so he should have been. I said A. That can stand for quite a few things, and so he signed up for this. Mm-hmm. He turned his life over to the cameras. He turned this decision over to the experts, and so I feel nothing. I feel no sympathy whatsoever for him. But I will say this: he got him a lady that obviously he has some issues with. We don't know what those issues are. We can speculate and have speculated on some of these issues.
A lot.
But it does seem as though he is turned off by her what's the word I'm looking for?
Sexual prowess.
But yeah. With other people other than him, her past,
mm-hmm.
And so he's feeling a certain type of way. It seems as though that's what it is, And you can't, if you're gonna open yourself up to this process, then you gotta open yourself up to this process. You said I do. You made your commitment. I feel when you say I do, it's a lifelong commitment. But for the purposes of this television show, you made your 8-week commitment. So follow through with it.
Okay,
and put your best foot forward. Put your big boy draws on and go through it.
Have to be attracted to her? And I know the answer to that has to be no. So if you can meet with somebody, you don't know what you're going to get. Yes, I signed up for this process, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. But I walked out here and I got somebody who is really just not at all somebody I can work with. Whether it's physical or it's a sexual experience or otherwise, if it's something that is a deal breaker for you, I mean, what are you supposed to do? So you're telling me I have to fake for 8 weeks? Fake it for 8 weeks.
No, I think you should really, really try. And obviously, it's something going on to where he is interpreted that she's a loose woman. So she's a self-proclaimed party girl. And I think he's kind of like felt that she's
y'all see my little head in this screen.
Yeah, put your head down, boy. And so, he's kind of like she's been out there probably in his own estimate, his own thought process, and probably thinking that she's not wife material. Obviously, that's where he's kind of like going with this thing. But they picked this person for you, and you said, no matter who is at the altar, I am going to do my best. He's not doing his best.
How do you know that's not his best? How do we know that is not his best?
He's closed off and he won't even talk.
Okay, but what if he feels like as soon as I open my mouth, if I really start to declare what's going on, it's going to be terrible.
It's already terrible.
And so I know, but it could be worse. So if
What?
Really? Oh, it could be worse. If he just went ahead and said what he could just say what Orion said to Lauren. I don't hand myself out, etc. So I mean, he could really just go into shaming her, and he hasn't done that.
Yeah.
Which I can appreciate because I don't think he has any place to do so.
Yeah.
But he could be Alyssa. It's any number of ways that he can be worse than what he's being now. Mm-hmm. I think that he looks worse than he would like to look already. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if he's aware of that yet, or if he's trying to avoid it, but he is not doing a great job at avoiding it. But it could definitely be worse. And I don't know that he's not trying. He definitely seems to feel like he's trying. Maybe trying for him in this instance is that he hasn't walked away. I don't know, but it's bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's bad. It's definitely bad. However, how does things get better within a relationship, especially a marriage? Mm-hmm. Do you close yourself off and try to kick this can down the road, try to fake it till you make it, or do you actually put in the work and you begin to converse with your partner about what your issues are to try to solve them.
Okay, but most people, when they get married, they know who this person is, and they've made a decision that this person is of value and a person who they would like to spend the rest of their lives with. So if in the relationship, if during the course of the marriage it starts to go sour somehow for some reason, they already have a foundation that they built the marriage on. So it's not in any ways the same. Here, they're trying to establish a foundation. They're working this whole thing backwards.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have that. He doesn't have anything besides what the experts told him, which they are wholly untrustworthy at this point. But he doesn't have anything except what the experts told him.
Yeah.
This is why she's compatible, or we've selected the perfect person for you.
Yeah.
And he gets her, and she's anything but perfect for him. So no, I don't want to put in that much work.
But no, because I feel it goes like this. You do come into you're right. They don't have that prior foundation of meeting each other, filling each other out, and having that foundation. But what you should come to the table with is maturity. You made a commitment. You should come to the table with that commitment. You should come to the table having some type of problem solving skills. You should come to the table having some type of communication skills.
Okay, now that goes back to the experts.
He didn't do any of that.
They didn't pick somebody who had problem solving skills. They picked
Obviously, they did.
Right. So that's not his fault.
How old is he?
28.
Dude, he can do better. He can talk. He can say something.
I mean, I don't think that he has the experience. Didn't the experts ask him, had he ever had this experience in a relationship before? And he said no. And the reason he hasn't had this relationship experience before is because if you meet somebody out, you choose whether or not you want to see them again. And he doesn't have that choice. And now he's here with somebody he doesn't like for whatever reason, whether it's her looks or otherwise. And he can't leave without looking bad. That's how he feels. So I feel bad for him.
I don't.
I feel bad for him.
I do.
And I feel bad for Emily. Don't get me wrong. And she doesn't have a chance. This is a man who cut off his own sister. He's known her his whole life. He ain't gonna talk to her no more. You think he gonna talk to Emily after this 8 weeks? You can forget about it. He might as well let her off the hook right now. But he didn't. He didn't.
Go ahead
and he gonna let this woman bust her skull wide open for him.
But you know what? I would probably have a little bit more respect for him if he did do the Lauren and just be like, hey, I'm not gonna try anymore, and I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
But I also would like for Emily to do that for herself.
Yeah.
I have been an admirer of how she has handled herself throughout this process, despite the disappointment. Did y'all see the previews where she kind of like crossed him over in soccer? I don't know. Is that a term you can use in soccer? I'm not familiar with soccer like that. Basketball terms, football terms, but he got crossed over to me.
I wonder how he's going to feel about that.
I know. So that's what I was going to say. If he seems like a very sensitive man, and it seems like that's going to bruise his ego, we just might need a baby break. We'll see. We might be able to work through it. But it seems like it might bruise his ego, and that's just going to push him over the edge if he's the type of person I think he is. But I just want to see Emily make the decision for herself to walk away from this. Yeah. Just like what Cameron's done. You know, Cameron's like, this isn't good for me. This relationship isn't going to serve me. I'm going to have to make a selfish decision. That's where I need Emily to be, because this is a waste of her time, and it's just going to damage her for the next relationship.
That's true.
So, with that said, since it's time the baby boy to try to chime in, we're going to let y'all go. Please drop those comments below, like, share, and subscribe. And we will all talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.